And hello everyone, welcome to another Let's Play. This is Myrokos, and today we will be continuing the Let's Play of Final Fantasy XIV, this time doing Post-Endwalker Pandaemonium raid, the first leg of the raid. If you like what you see at any point, please remember to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube, give me a follow on Twitch, hit the notification bells. These may be small things from you, but they mean the world to the channel. And without further ado, let us talk to Nimjiji after taking some time to look it up and also briefly looking at this. Yeah, this has the look of what the MSQ is, or sorry, not the MSQ, what the raid is going to be, since this was in the epilogue cutscene. The crystal from beyond. Nimjiji nods at you as she was as if she was expecting your arrival. Hey, it appears my calculations were correct. I knew that at this very spot I would encounter none other than Myrokos, the hero who saw us through the final days. So certain was I of my math that I stood here for, well, let's not concern ourselves with that. I am Nimjiji, assistant to one Professor Claudian. We work with the ITS scope to observe the ethereal sea and delve into its myriad mysteries. Some mysteries, though, are beyond our capabilities to unravel. The strange crystal we but recently discovered, for instance, defies our very conjecture. You've been to the center of the star and far beyond it. However, so we hope that you may see something in this crystal that we academics do not. I beg you, lend us your well-traveled eye to Aporia. Professor Claudian will be eagerly awaiting your arrival. Okay, so we need to... probably should repair my gear. And I know I'm still not entirely, decked out as I should be, but I need to earn some more tomestones. Yeah, my gear's all over the place, but so it goes. And again, I could probably get a slightly better chest, but I don't think I could get chest and legs. Okay, no, I don't want that. I want to go, you said, to Aporia. As I live and breathe, it's really you. I assumed Nimjiji was simply attempting to pull one over on me, as it were. Perhaps I should pay more heed to her wild claims. Welcome, welcome. We appreciate any insight you can provide on the matter of this crystal. Professor Claudian will share the particulars with you. Okay? Greetings, Myrokos, and welcome to my humble laboratory. I am sure Nimjiji has already told you plenty about us, but allow me to introduce myself personally. I am Claudian, leader of this little research collective. I must admit, I have been nervous about this meeting ever since Nimjiji set out to find you. For a researcher in my field, there is no greater an honor than to meet the first man in history to traverse the ethereal sea and return to tell the tale. The professor speaks often and at length of your deeds, but he has no small number of achievements to his own name. He has peered deeper into the ethereal sea than any other in Charlene, and the breadth of his knowledge is peerless. Fearless, perhaps, but for a single man, we must seize this precious opportunity to learn what we can from him, and perhaps crack this conundrum that has stumped the three of us for moons. It was we who peered into the fathomless sea from the anti-tower in the Dravanian hinterlands. There we spoke with Heidelin and learned of the fate that would befall this star. The final days. Wait, all three of you were alive over 200 years ago? I thought only Elzen lived to be 120. Maximum. Everyone else is 100 or so. Okay. Soon after, all research was moved to Labyrinthos, and through the ITS-scope, did we continue our vigil. As impressive a work as the device is, however, it can glimpse but a fraction of the sea's infinite depths. Which brings us to the matter at hand. Not long after the Exodus was declared, we recovered an unusual crystal shard. During a routine observation, it appeared before us suddenly, as if propelled to the surface by some unknown force. We found that it possessed an ethereal density that exceeds that of normal crystals by orders of magnitude, and its shape resembles nothing which occurs in the natural world. It was made, not formed. Unfortunately, that was the extent of the information we could glean before we were forced to turn our focus towards the Exodus. The crystal was very nearly forgotten amidst the sudden upheaval. But thanks to the efforts of a certain someone, that crisis is now behind us and we are free to resume our research. Thus did we decide to seek you out, the dauntless adventurer who delved into the unknown and beheld its innermost secrets, and now we would have you see for yourself. My cat decided to shut herself in the room again. Here is the crystal in question. If it resembles aught you have encountered before, even by the smallest degree, please say so. Yeah. Memory abides within this crystal. I know of someone who bears a similar crystal. As I thought, you do know what this is. Please tell me everything. I see. The Ascians use these to transfer their memories to new vessels. Fascinating indeed. It was plain that this crystal was special somehow, but this revelation surpasses even my considerable expectations. Similar artifacts have appeared throughout the ages. Memories of martial techniques manifested as crystalline shards on the battlefield, or storied stones passed from master to student. A comparison between said artifacts and this crystal may prove fruitful. A fruitful first step in unveiling its true nature. What do you think, Professor? Ascian memories, windows through which we can gaze upon the convocation of 14. Unlike the crystal in Myrokos' story, this one does not bear the mark of the convocation. Who then could these memories belong to? And more importantly, why were they stored in this particular shard? More importantly still, why was it set adrift on the ethereal sea? Professor Claudian. Aetherist to Claudian. Come in, Claudian. Huh? Yes. I am well aware that contemplation is the key to breakthrough, but there is propriety to consider. We have a guest, one you invited explicitly. Must we do this every time? Uh-oh. What? Yes, of course. Our guest. Terribly sorry. I do so easily find myself unmoored by the tides of rumination. Perhaps a more engaging use of your time with us would be for you to take up that crystal. If indeed there are memories stored within, they may reveal themselves to you upon contact. If anyone message come Pandaemonium, please. Faces grave threat, star in danger. That expression does not bode well. What did you see? Pandaemonium? 'Tis not a word I have heard before. If my knowledge of the ancient tongue serves me, it means all demons. Not a name that inspires optimism, all things considered. In the event that another star-shattering cataclysm is in fact bearing down upon us, I would have the aforementioned examples of crystallized memory to hand. Nimjiji, Rusino, I entrust their procurement to you. If there are more memories to be extracted from this crystal, we will find them. As for you, Myrokos, there is a person I would have you seek. The one who has delivered so dire a warning. Your story tells us that this crystal could very well have been made by one of the ancients. If that is the case, then discerning the nature of this Pandaemonium would require a trip to the far past, to an era before the Sundering. I know of only one individual capable of such a feat, the very hero who traversed time to prevent the world's doom. It's us. I must confess the tales people tell of your adventures bigger belief, and their veracity has been a subject of much debate among my peers. After today's meeting, however, there can be no doubt in my mind that every incredible exploit is fact. So I ask you now, return to the past, find out what and where Pandaemonium is, and if we need be concerned by this message. Thank you. For the time being, you should keep the crystal in your possession. I do not think you have seen the last of its memories, and more may be drawn out as you approach their source. Safe travels, and may we meet again soon to share our findings. For Professor Claudian, I would burn the candle on both ends, or rather I will. First I must find the historical documents he requested, and then... What was I meant to do again? From this moment on, our objective shall be to fill every cranny of this place with crystals. Surely the Gleaners won't mind braving a few haunted battlefields for the right price. Great journey to the past and ascertain the severity of the threat. Keep the crystal for now until we can find a way to listen to its messages. It will do more good in your hands than ours, okay? Oh, we have to go back to the ocular. We can't just teleport? I can technically teleport to Elpis if I want to. But I suppose this is more lore immersion wise, like technically in order to go. Huh. Welcome, my lord. If you wish to go to the ocular, I should be glad to escort you. Yep. If receives this message. Probably should have glamored myself with the come Pandaemonium quickly. Probably should have glamored myself as the oh dear, what did I hit? What, not in the room like before? Yep, back in Elpis, and it looks like it's nighttime. Could it be? No, of course not. Apologies, but for the briefest moment I thought you to be a dear friend of mine. I realize now that such a notion is preposterous. You told me a falling star would appear before me, and I suppose you must be it. Truth be told, I did not expect the expression to be so literal. Okay. Apologies for not introducing myself properly. My name is Themis. As you can see by my bare face, I am not one of Elpis's observers. Rather, I am come here on assignment, which has been more or less routine up until this very moment. You certainly do know how to make an entrance. I must wonder what brought you here, for it is plain that you do not belong here, or any place I know for that matter. What, did my ears give it away? I am Azim's familiar. I am also here on an assignment. Yeah, probably best to stay incognito. Emmett Self did say that. It appears my initial impression was not so preposterous after all. I did not know my friend had such a unique familiar at his disposal. If you are here at Azim's behest, then I believe I can hazard a guess as to your purpose. You are here to investigate Pandaemonium, yes? Indeed. But how did you know? If so, we may be able to help one another. But first, might I trouble you to explain how you came to collide with my skull? Ouch. I see. I believe that dispels any major doubts I had concerning your intentions. Apologies for being so intrusive, but you must understand this is an uncommon occurrence. I shall pry no further, for I am well aware that we all have secrets we must keep. However, if I may, I would very much like to take a look at this crystal of yours. Fascinating. While I cannot say much as to what it contains, it is clear that there are memories stirring within. Memories that speak of something gravely amiss in Pandaemonium. The facility extends beneath Alpes and is overseen by the words of La Habrea. It houses those creations that are highly valued as research subjects and highly dangerous to the star. Naturally, it is strictly guarded and under constant surveillance. Several days ago, however, an unnatural shift in the flow of its surrounding ether was detected. Soon thereafter, all communications from Pandaemonium ceased. Huh. So something is amiss. I am here as a representative of an organization that works directly with the Convocation and have been tasked with investigating this incident. Now that there is some measure of transparency between us, might I offer a suggestion as to what we should do next? Critical hit. Critical hit generally is good. During the course of your investigation, you may discover valuable artifacts. These can be exchanged for equipment by speaking with Mylene in Lini in Aporia, or Joel in Radzatan. Okay, so that's how we get gear. We're familiar there. Themis is eager to commence the investigation into Pandaemonium. Now then, my proposal is a simple one. Let us journey to Pandaemonium together. Our destination is the same, and I suspect the arrangement would work to our mutual benefit. Besides, I should have no trouble gaining us both access. I do hope you agree. I would be loath to part ways from the falling star I had been waiting so long for. Originally, I had planned to conduct my investigation with the friend I mentioned earlier. He had also noticed the anomaly near Pandaemonium, so it only seemed natural that we should investigate it together. However, he eventually decided that it would be unwise for us both to go. If two members of our organization were seen poking our heads about restricted facilities, it could raise questions, you see. I decided to go alone, but he left me with these words. Fear not, for in my absence a star shall fall before you. While I could not comprehend his meaning at the time, I believe now I understand. He does have a way of being right about these things. Even so, his hints of what to come are generally more cryptic. I suppose I should have kept my gaze to the heavens. Suffice it to say that I am grateful for your presence either way. As for the matter at hand, we must first gain permission from the words of La Habrea. For entry into Pandaemonium, there ought to be a speaker waiting at Anagnosis. Yeah. Let me just do a small check, because, okay, yeah, I'll definitely get back some second chance things, and I'll be able to get this one picked off. That'll get me 8. But at least I'll be able to earn back. I sent a request for permission before setting forth to help us. With luck, we shall not be waiting long. What a fascinating etheric signature. In accordance with the Convocation's request, the two of you have been granted leave to observe Pandaemonium. I shall register your ether for the records. From this point on, you may freely come and go from Pandaemonium as you please. Now that was a painless process, I take this as a sign that we were meant to conduct our investigations together. Of course, while you have been permitted entry into the facility, the specimens housed inside must be handled with utmost care. You are to heed the warder's instructions at all times. Those who conduct their work within Pandaemonium are called warders for their role with respect to the creatures within. Generally, creations that pose a threat to the safety of the star must be undone. However, the words of La Habrea has deemed certain such creations as worthy of further study, interring them within the facility. Those who spend their days in Pandaemonium are not merely researchers. They must work tirelessly to ensure that none of their subjects slip their shackles. For all intents and purposes, the place is a dungeon. Perhaps such a comparison arouses frightful imagery, but Pandaemonium is a frightful place. Huh. I know not the purpose of your investigation, but if you discover aught that merits a report, pray do so with utmost haste. Master La Habrea shall guide us upon the proper course of action from there. Then I take it that means you have detected nothing amiss as of late. The warders have reported nothing that would cause alarm. Minor fluctuations in the ether have been observed, but surely Master La Habrea would have acted if they were anything worth worrying about. I see. It appears La Habrea is kept well abreast of the ongoings here then. I hope I am not overstepping my boundaries by asking, but you seem to be quite familiar with Master La Habrea. Do you know him? Know him? We've met. Oh, the stories I could tell you. Probably best not to tell him. Keep it simple. We've met, yeah. That a mere familiar would have had the honor to meet Master La Habrea. He is not known to easily afford others his time, so you must be extraordinary indeed to be granted even a moment of it. Regardless, while I doubt I need to tell you this, he is of the Convocation. Take care that your actions do not hinder his work. And with that, we are free to make our way to Pandaemonium. The naos that will take us there is on the eastern bank of Leth. Let us delay no further. Eastern... Wait, is that the ruined one that Emmett Salk remarked on? In MSQ? Pandaemonium can be reached via the naos on the island to the northeast. I suggest you hurry before your companion leaves you behind. Okay. A tree with blue leaves. Multiple trees. I just noticed that. Huh. Interesting. Oh, so it was the ruined one. I say ruined, it's just got a lot of moss. Apparently, like, nobody's been over here in a while. That's what Emmett Falk said. I had to contain my surprise for the sake of appearances, but it is true. But is it true that you too have met La Habrea in the flesh? I find you more fascinating by the moment. Still, I shall refrain from asking too many questions. Secrets will make our journey all the more intriguing. We shall come to know each other in time, I wager, or else why would fate have orchestrated our meeting? In any case, let us be off. Truth be told, this will be my first time beholding the fabled Pandaemonium with my own eyes. Here's to a new adventure, eh? Okay. Let's go. Huh. Interesting. It is much as I feared. The speaker seemed in such high spirits for a moment that I thought the ethereal irregularity not nearly so grave a portent as I imagined. Alas, 'twas a fleeing and vain hope. To gaze upon the complex network of chains and wards, the untrained eye might not sense anything awry. No effort has been spared in making this place impenetrable. Even the finest of masterworks is not without its flaws, however. Someone or something is tampering with the protections. It is working from within, eroding them from the inside out. That's not good. Fear not, there is no immediate danger. I reinforced what protections I could the moment we arrived. This will not put an end to whatever is occurring, but it shall at least serve to slow its progress. One small victory, though the road ahead of us is yet long. Yes, powerful forces are at work here. The silence in the air speaks volumes. While I did not expect a bustling facility, I see not a single warder. Our first course of action should be to seek one out, wherever they may be. However, there is something you must know. What? The magic I wove upon entering requires my constant awareness. That is to say, if we are forced to fight, I cannot risk joining you in battle. Should I lose focus, Pandaemonium's protections will rapidly crumble before the force assailing them. Alright, were there another way, I would gladly choose it, but let us at least be grateful that neither of us is here alone, trapped in hopeless circumstances. If we should fail to find a peaceable solution, then I hope I can rely on your strength to see us through. Of course, you have my promise. This request doesn't come as a surprise, to be honest. Thank you for offering your help so willingly. If weapons are drawn, I hope to be able to lend at least a touch of magical support. And here I thought you just said you couldn't do anything. Creation magics do have their uses in that regard. I had it in mind to use your ether as a basis for illusory allies that will fight at your side. Perhaps 7 shall do? Not exactly an army, but by the looks of you, a formidable band nonetheless. Then so shall it be. Now what, I wonder, awaits us in Pandaemonium's pitiless halls? Okay, so let's queue up. Not much in the way of tombstones, but I should get an extra bonus, presumably for being the first time. I cannot say for sure what awaits us. Let us make ready for the worst, and we shall not be taken by surprise. Yeah, you'd think there'd be more warders here. Huh, so I can go through here. Interesting. I mean, the gates are open after all. But you'd think there would be more wards protecting this place. just need 2 healers by the looks of it. Hopefully this doesn't take much longer. And it looks like here we go. So let's see what this fight looks like. Autumn, I'm going to need my keyboard. And of course, the cat decides to hand on the desk. I'm going to need my keyboard. Yes, I am. I'm going to need the keyboard. Yes, really. The majority of people seem to be over here. Usually where that happens, yep. Wait, why do I have Scathe here? I've never, like, used it. I just realized I need to fix my hotbars. The people with fire icons are over here. It's the one thing that made sense. Was this, I don't know if I was far enough over for that. I didn't get a ability stack, so Well, if I can get slightly better gear. Okay. That was a thrilling display, and if I may be vaunting, the warriors I spun from your ether fought even more splendidly than I had anticipated. I suppose they were cut from excellent cloth, after all. We should wait until this man regains his senses. He wears the robes of a warder, and I would be very curious to know what drove him to attack us sight unseen. Myrokos, he stirs. What came over me? It is coming back to me. My mind was filled with a storm of desperation, anger. I leapt at you, though I knew naught of your intentions. Pray accept my apologies and my thanks. Had you not knocked some sense back into me, I may have fallen upon someone less capable of defending themselves. I am Ericthonios, a warder of Asphodelos, Pandaemonium's highest lair, and the place where we are in now, okay? One must wonder why you were so desperate to keep us out. What is happening in Pandaemonium? The creations interred within Asphodelos have been set free, and stalk its halls to no end but violence. That is not good, to say the least. Has this ever happened before? No, never. Each level of Pandaemonium is under the charge of a key ward who keeps strict control over the most minute aspects of their domain. They're selected with great care, and their loyalty to Master La Habrea is absolute. Yet something has gone terribly wrong. Try as we might to hold the line, the chaos within is overwhelming. I hardly realized that I had become separated from my colleagues. I remember a chorus of whispers assailing my senses, and afterwards only flashes of rage and fury. Then blackness, from which I awoke to find that whatever had overcome me was gone. I see. Your senses may have been muddled by magics that affect the mind. Perhaps the selfsame ones that saw you separated from the other warders. Whatever had taken hold of me, thank you for releasing me from its clutches. That you've come here from the surface must mean some word of our plight has reached the outside world. If you know anything that may help, pray tell. Horror among horrors. The Pandaemonium's protections are indeed being dismantled from within. By the same individual, or individuals, that released its captives and set them upon you, no doubt. Such knowledge avails us little, however, if we cannot ascertain their identity. Themis, was it? You said you worked for an organization under the auspices of the Convocation. Were they to receive word of what has transpired here, what measures would they take? Doubtless they would consider this place to be a lost cause. Pandaemonium's ties to the outside world would be severed, or perhaps it would be wiped from existence entirely. Yeesh. That's kind of harsh. As I thought, were the creatures to escape into the outside world, there would be untold carnage. The words of Habrea would never risk that, despite what value the research subjects may hold. All the more reason to work with haste. If we can't expect further help, then it falls upon me to save the others. I'll not leave them behind. You would go alone? I would not leave the other warders to face certain doom. I know they fight for survival even now. They wouldn't abandon their duty. They would see the creatures return to their cells at all costs. And so I must do the same. Themis, I know the request I'm about to make of you is a monumental one, but please, say not a word of this to the Convocation until I've been given a chance to set things right. Forgive my rudeness, Erichthonius, but my decision cannot be swayed by emotion. You would only be consigning yourself to an early death. Strength of resolve alone cannot win in the face of overwhelming odds. That being said, our investigation has only just begun, and we would be remiss to turn back ere we've made an exhaustive survey. So for the time being, there is slightly more than resolve to rely upon. Indeed, our work here is not done. I knew you would be all too eager to join us. Each moment since you fell from the skies has been more interesting than the last. More and more you remind me of my dear friend, which goes some way towards encouraging me that this matter will yet reach a satisfactory conclusion. So, you agree to help? For the moment, our goals align. The protective magics of Pandaemonium yet hold, so for the moment, time is in our favor. Let us proceed upon the course you and Myrokos have set us upon. Themis and Myrokos, yes? Thank you. The warders owe you a great debt already. We shall be glad to have someone familiar with Pandaemonium's halls by our side. A party of 3 is ever so much more entertaining than a pair of 2. Now let us turn our attention to rescuing your colleagues. Perhaps it would be wise to approach the gates in case any have followed you out. Yeah, that was determination. Let's get some determination. ton materia. Spell speed. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Meld. Okay, Determination. It's not much, but okay. Just trying to improve my chances a bit. It seems our investigation will be quite an ordeal after all. Still, I find it hard to believe that La Habrea knows naught of what has transpired here. Whoever the mastermind of this crisis is, they do not lack for power and cunning. Under the surface, Arctonius is peering into the depths of Pandaemonium. Not a sound can be heard from within, which means neither creature nor warder has made it thus far. We should begin forming a plan to save them at once. Forgive me if I misunderstand, but do you mean to rescue the warders and creations both? Naturally. Although they may be dangerous, they are valuable research subjects. I wouldn't see our labor, our untold hours of study go to waste. I dare say La Habrea would smile to hear you say such a thing. That is, if we had cause to report this incident to him. Smile? I'm not sure his face is capable of such warmth. Interesting. Ah, so you've met him before. I was under the impression he rarely visited Pandaemonium. I have, yes. My mentor was the previous head of this facility. That is to say, La Habrea's predecessor in the position of Chief Key Ward. Her name was Athena. She was a researcher with the words. It was she who appointed me to this position, in fact. I see. I did not know there was a chief keyword before La Habrea. Your motivation to save your research subjects is not entirely driven by duty to the words, then. You wish also to preserve the work of your mentor. You've the right of it. I'm lacking in ideas of how to go about that. However, I'm a mere warder and cannot wield internment magics. But of course, I can hardly expect you to be versed in the magics we use here. If you recall, during your battle earlier, I bound you in etheric shackles. Internment is a more refined and powerful magic based upon the same principles. While both are used to keep our subjects docile, only the keyword of each tier is permitted to use internment. Even if I were allowed, I lack the aptitude to use the spell to any notable effect. Fascinating. I have some knowledge of these forms of spellcraft, actually. La Habrea himself established their foundation, if I recall. While shackles are meant to bind an object in place for a short time, interment freezes the very space around it for as long as the caster wills. Indeed. While the illusory beings you summoned in our fight suggested as much, I see your knowledge of magic is vast. Perhaps you've already mastered the art of interment, and I've been lecturing you like a child all this time. I'm afraid my knowledge ends there. I have not the precise understanding of how the invocations interact with natural laws that would be needed to cast said spells with any consistency. While I consider myself well versed in various magics, I would be ill-advised to assume the duties of keyword without instruction. That being said, if I were to learn more of interment and its inner workings, perhaps. While you have a warder standing in front of you, I'll leave the fighting to me. You two can figure out the rest. Well, the solution is obvious when you put it like that. Ericthonius, you implied that what prevented you from performing interment was a lack of magical capacity. What if I supplemented your power with my own? Would the spell succeed then? I cannot say for certain. I have never heard of such a thing being done. I believe it may be our best recourse. That is, of course, assuming you can perform the initial rites and incantations flawlessly. Even the smallest misstep and we would have to start over. You needn't worry about that. I've seen the spells cast so many times that their motions have been burned into my memory. I won't disappoint. Very well, let us work out the specifics afterwards. Once we do, we can test out our methods on one of the escaped creatures, though I suppose there is the matter of finding one. It would be foolish to rush in blindly, lest we find ourselves surrounded with naught but an untested stratagem at our disposal. Nay, I would prefer to engage a single creature that Myrokos can dispatch on his own if the spell were to go awry. I agree, and I may have an idea in that regard. I recall seeing the hippocampus wandering the waterways during my flight. Perhaps it is still there. Few of the subjects housed within Asphodelos are fond of water, and I believe we will be able to engage the beast without fear of unwanted guests. Then that shall be our first target, or perhaps subject is a better term. Before we commence with the entombment magics, the creature should be weakened to a sufficient degree. I believe I can trust you with that task. As dependable as ever. Once we have given it a thorough trancing, we shall bind the hippocampus with the keywords magics. Until then, my illusions shall fight by your side. The hippocampus will be alone, but it is a daunting opponent. Nonetheless, its magic warps the environment around it, and it will be at home amidst the waterways. Steel yourself for a fight. Athena ever drove home the fact that our subjects should be treated with the utmost care. It would be best if we could see them confined once again, rather than disposed of like beasts gone feral. I take it we are each ready to fulfill our respective roles. Truth be told, this will be the first time I have practiced magic that requires such a degree of cooperation between parties. How thrilling. Would that it could have given me more comedies, but I understand. Yeah, getting more causals. But every little bit helps in its own way. also could benefit from making more. I've got lots of food, but lots of crafted food. I could benefit from more combat-oriented food. Here we go. No boy. What? I guess someone really has to go for that Scylla garb vibe. Okay, good thing I'm always standing over here. Doc. Whoa, it can duplicate its head? Ugh. That's alright, because oh god, it's going to die there. Oh, oh no, 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 no. Ah. I can see why some people struggle with this. But its head again. Oh no 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 no. Huh. That was a trial by fire or water, I suppose, but I had faith we would see it through. So long as we had your stout arm, of course. I knew that you were no mere mercenary, but to make such clean work of the hippocampus, seasoned fighters scarcely have occasion to visit Pandaemonium, let alone display their skills. Mastery takes all forms indeed. Needless to say, our plan worked to perfection in no small part thanks to you two. Thymus's power was more than enough to complete the internment spellcasting. The internment spellcasting was never my strong suit, but that almost made me feel like a proper Myrokos. Clearly, having seen your abilities firsthand in your fight with Myrokos, I beg to disagree. Shackles is the one exception, and 'tis only because I've been forced to practice it since I was a small child. Other magics leave me feeling completely out of my depth. Really? You haven't practiced anything else? Regardless, it seems luck is on my side to guide me to you. We may prove the impossible possible after all. After witnessing the hippocampus's capabilities, I should not blame you for wishing to avoid engaging any further creations in the place of their choosing. Alas, I doubt we will have the luxury. Sadly, if you're right. Now I'll get the, that 8th, Wondrous Tale completion. Themis is pondering the road ahead. While our success in stealing away the hippocampus is certainly heartening, the fact that we have yet to see any other warders concerns me. The key word of Asphodelos is nothing if not cautious. Doubtless he has gathered what warders he could and retreated to a safe area. Let us hope so. It occurs to me that I know little of the key wards besides their magical prowess. Is there aught more you can share? Of course, a man named Hesperos is in charge of Asphodelos. Not only does he have thorough knowledge of the creatures here, but he takes great pains to be a mentor to each of the warders under his charge. He has done much to ensure that I flourished here, in spite of my ineptitude at magic, and I have always known him to be the sort of man who faces difficult decisions with unwavering composure. Furthermore, key wards are not only masters of interment, they can also bend the hallways of Pandaemonium to their will with creation magics. With all this in mind, I am certain that so long as Hesperos guides them, the other warders are safe. I can see why absolute control over the environs is imperative. Had we faced the hippocampus upon arid sands instead of the waterways, I suspect the battle would have ended much more quickly. In any case, if this Hesperos is as capable and caring as you say, we would do well to seek him out as soon as we can. He has, like as not, taken your colleagues to a secure location. The safest place would be the innermost circle of Asphodelos. From there, they could flee to Abyssos if hard pressed. Even should they have sought safe haven within the other circles, if we make for the 4th, we ought to encounter them on the way. Indeed, as we shall gain a comprehensive understanding of the situation within Asphodelos, which will be essential, indeed, and we shall gain a comprehensive understanding of the situation within Asphodelos, which will be essential in determining whether we ought to continue down to Abyssos. That was a little hard to read. The rub, of course, is that I myself possess no power to bend the circles to my will. Instead, we must proceed through the central corridor, which was barred by the Phoenix last I checked. Phoenix? I have heard of the name before. A fiery bird with life eternal. Sounds like the Phoenix. Beyond unquenchable brilliance, the perfected concept boasts nigh boundless restorative powers, if I recall. Truly an exemplary feat of creation magics. Perfection is ever built on the back of failure, however, and La Habrea suffered countless missteps during his experiments. So La Habrea made Phoenix. And he was hardly the only one. The Phoenix will be but one of many attempts at the concept gone awry. Far from evoking wonder, the Phoenix is a creature of fury and wrath, and seeks only to turn the world to ash. Thus was it confined within Pandaemonium. Development of the concept continued elsewhere, but as the moons turned, more and more researchers abandoned the project as an impossibility, save for La Habrea and his words. When I received word that at long last La Habrea had succeeded, where so many others had failed, I was nearly overcome. Pray tell, how did the warders of Pandaemonium celebrate their master's accomplishment? I don't believe we did. The research of the words of La Habrea has little consequence to our work here, save for those rare times it charges us with a new specimen. Truth be told, I don't remember anyone making note of the occasion. But enough reminiscing. We must make ready to confront the Phoenix. While it's possible that it flew off to some other wing of Pandaemonium, we would make that assumption at our own peril. Better to assume that we'll need to bring Asphodels's most unruly subjects to heel. I certainly see no reason to delay. The Phoenix's power over the flame will avail it far less in a barren corridor than elsewhere, so it may well serve us to subdue it sooner rather than later. Huh? What? What was that? It seems whoever is behind this can alter the space around us at will. We face an uphill battle. Impossible. If those were creation magics at work, then that means... let us confront that reality after we have conquered the enemy in front of us. Every drop of our focus shall be required if we are to inter the Phoenix. That looks like Hesperos, though. But he seemed different. He wasn't in his robes, if anything. Fight well, friend. We shall gain naught from allowing the larger implications of this to distract us from the fight ahead. The Phoenix's rage will be unbridled, but I trust you are prepared for the worst. Oh my goodness, average wait time 16 minutes. This could be a wait. this one's taking an annoyingly long time. Hopefully it goes through, because I'd like to finish this segment in one go. I mean, I get it, not many people want to do Asphodelos, but, especially if they've been at max level for a while now, but some of us need to do this for the first time, so it's gotta happen. Ah, finally. Ow. It's gonna be one of those fights. Dead rebirth. Oh, okay. The one time I use ley lines and the Ugh. Here we go again. There's any other with that, the phoenix is shackled once more. However, there is yet the matter of this arena. As you have told us, there is but one person in Asphodelos with the ability and authority to wield such magics. Though fortunately, it appears he has saved us the trouble of finding him. Really? A contemptible display, as befits an inferior specimen. Even so, I expected it would at least delay your advance. Imagine my surprise when I saw the chains of internment drag the phoenix back to its cage. Either the bird is even more of a failure than its creators cared to admit, or you are no mean trespassers. I had hoped our suspicions were misplaced, but alas. Keyword Hesperus. Why? Why have you brought such chaos to your beloved Pandaemonium? Pandaemonium, pitiless, impenetrable, and utterly steadfast, unlike those charged with its keeping. What has possessed you? I don't understand. Oh, Ericthonios, must you pester me with these inane questions? Think for yourself. Surely you can muster a theory or two with that dim wit of yours. Then again, you have never been one for insight. Why Master Lahabrius suffers your mediocrity, I shall never understand. You may look like him, but you're not the Hesperus I know. Something has warped you too, from the inside out. The keyword I knew had compassion for all those under his charge, be they clad in robes or shackled in chains. Was that all a farce? Did you hide your contempt for us all these years? Those who are content to merely glimpse the water's surface are doomed to be dragged into its depths. You proved my opinion of you with every word. My mind is clearer than it has ever been. Even now, seeing you feebly grasp for answers makes the bile rise in my throat. Such wasted potential. To be son to Master La Habrea, yet no more skilled with magic than a newborn babe. But of course, it's always about La Habrea. Silence. You are not worthy to utter his name. For once, be grateful to witness a feat beyond your meager abilities, beyond your shallow reckoning. I have slipped the surly bonds of mortality. I have become one with our mythic creations and rid myself of imperfections. I stand upon the threshold of godhood. As the Hemitheos, shall I serve Master La Habrea, ever faithful unto the end of days. And he shall require no other. I think not. So you are blinded by arrogance. Are you so blinded by arrogance that you have lost sight of what it means to serve? Ericthonius is more capable than you could ever know. It was thanks to his instruction that I was able to master the art of internment, both how to wield it and how to break free of it. Myrokos, let us quit this place. Whatever poison has corrupted Hesperus' mind, it is plain his power far eclipses our own. We must have time to gather our strength. Weaklings though they may be, it takes a singular aptitude to master internment so quickly, to say nothing of how swiftly that familiar laid low the phoenix. Regardless, their noble aims will be their undoing. Where they fritter away their strength in calming the beasts of Asphodelos, I continue my work. Even should they survive long enough to reach the heart of my domain, naught shall await them but doom. I eagerly await your arrival, Ericthonius. Even dullards have their uses. Where is Ericthonius? Oh, there he is. Please, leave me be. My darkest suspicions have been realized. We face the keyword of Asphodelos himself. More than that revelation, however, Ericthonius worries me. He loved Hesperus for his compassion, but received naught but scorn from whatever the keyword has become. He has said little since our return. I only hope the shock of recent events does not prove to be a death knell for his resolve. Who wards the warders? Themis would offer what comfort he can to Arcthonios. Ooh, spell speed. I could use more spell speed. Much as I am loath to disturb Arcthonios so soon after what has just occurred, I am afraid circumstances do not afford us the luxury of time. Perhaps it will do him well to speak about recent events concerning both the keyword and his father. He seemed reticent to say aught concerning La Habrea when the subject was broached. Doubtless his relationship with his father is a fraught one. Oh dear, we have daddy issues. Then again, with La Habrea as his father, that's kind of understandable. The creation of the ward which surrounds Pandaemonium was an astounding feat of magical prowess, a feat accomplished by none other than La Habrea. That both my father and I can bind others in chains is perhaps the only thing that we have in common. Ah, so it is true. I am La Habrea's son. Bereft of his talent for magics or his brilliant mind, but his son nonetheless. Surely this doesn't come entirely as a surprise to you. Nay, I had an inkling when you said you had practiced ethereal shackles since childhood. Assuming you haven't been employed here quite that long, it had to indicate some long-held connection with La Habrea. It was La Habrea who taught me how to cast ethereal shackles, but that was it. My further education was overseen by the words of La Habrea, more specifically my mother, who was a researcher there. You did speak of Athena, chief keyword, before La Habrea. She is your mother, yes? How astute. I can see now why you were chosen to lead this investigation. You've the right of it. Athena was my mother, and it was she who invited me to join her here. La Habrea had nothing to do with it. I see there is little love lost between you two. What I cannot see is why La Habrea was appointed chief keyword when another was already in place. Was in place. My mother is no longer with us. And La Habrea was all too eager to assume her responsibilities, with nary a moment spent to mourn her. What love do I owe him now, when he offered not one drop of compassion then? Ah, I see. He is no longer with us, an expression to convey the end of a life. I have known only the public face of La Habrea. While he is lauded for his ability to maintain composure in the face of unnerving circumstances, I must admit that oft he comes across as cold. Apologies, but can we speak of something else? This topic isn't an easy one for me to discuss. Of course, there are more pressing matters at hand, after all, namely how to deal with Hesperos. We have yet to see the other key warders. Judging by what we know, we can surmise that Hesperos has confined them somewhere beyond our grasp. And now that he is aware of our presence, he will be preparing for our next encounter. We cannot expect to face him on equal footing, quite the opposite in fact. Every moment we spent chasing after the creations is another moment Hesperos can contrive another advantage for himself. The wisest course would be to find him first and foremost. Yeah, can't let him roam around free. He said that he has become one with the creations. Perhaps that means he is vulnerable to internment. In theory, that should be possible. However, is it enough merely to confine him after all he has done? I need to know why. I need to know what drove him to forsake everything he's worked for. Was it all truly so that he could serve his master? In my mind, he's merely put Liberia's own work at risk in trade for some nebulous power. La Habrea is the chief keyword of Pandaemonium. How would throwing it into disarray win his favor? It doesn't make any sense. True. That is very true. I share your curiosity, but we must consider our enemy has us at a disadvantage in every sense. What do you think? Should we seek to put him in fetters, or would it be too dangerous to allow him quarter? I want answers too. If you fail to confine him, I can always strike him down. Daring as ever, I see. I know not which trials you have faced in your past, but to see you so certain is all the convincing I need. Very well, let us try Archthonius' plan. Thank you, Myrokos. I believe I can shed some light on the nature of our foe. When Hesperos spoke with us, I noticed he bore the telltale fangs of the Myrokos. As a beast which feeds off the ether of its prey. Likely that is the creation Hesperos merged his essence with. And we know all too well that he can change the environment around himself at will. The battle will not be an easy one, but I believe in our victory. I'm got a yawn there. Not sure why, but okay. Yeah. Ooh, coming up on 3 hours. That one queue took so long. That Hesperos possessed such a lust for power that he would resort to this. Clearly I misjudged him. I'd like nothing more than to strike him down myself, but seeing you wipe that arrogant grin off his face will taste just as sweet. He called himself a Hemitheos and claimed immortality. I know not how he discovered this dark art, but his actions do not bespeak a sound mind. I don't think I'm getting this 50 unless I get super duper lucky with one of the other ones. Okay, and here we go. I think I pulled it. I just noticed that there was a hero standing over here, so it's like, okay. Nope, we lost to summoner. That says no DPS. I'm assuming I should not be standing there. Okay, definitely don't want to be in that. Do we need... Oh, yeah. Okay, good position there. No rapier, so... Same deal. Hmm. Not yet. Hang on, what is it? Wait. I can't want its attention. It's high. Now, Themis, we end this here. Fools, I will not be put in chains. To think that I would fall before one such as you. Perhaps I should have treated you as more than a mere nuisance. Despite your victory, you shall never have the knowledge you seek. The secrets of my transformation, the secrets of my deception, they shall return to the star with me. You are wasting your breath, Hesperus. We have the upper hand now, surely you can see that. Yes, my repertoire is not exhausted yet, however. Although I have failed, my end shall be on my own, on my terms. I remain loyal to my very last. Come what may, I die with dignity. How did your ambition lead you so astray, Hesperus? You were better than that. Your star shone more brightly than any other in Pandaemonium. You had La Habre's respect, his trust. What more did you seek? That you would forsake all that and sully your legacy besides. He became so blinded by his own desires that he lost sight of his duty. In the end, he lost everything and his plans lie in tatters. I fail to see any dignity in that. Even so, I would have liked to know why you chose this path. Hesperus' infatuation with your father was his undoing. Perhaps he was jealous that fate had chosen you and not him to be La Habre's son. So terrible did this jealousy become that he sought verboten power. Oh, interesting use of German there. Forbidden power. That power that La Habre would be unable to ignore. How does a pursuit for respect warp one's heart so? How does infatuation with one person turn into contempt for everyone else? I have never heard of such a thing. It's not as uncommon as you may think. It happens, but that doesn't mean it's right. I see. I admit I cannot but find it vexing, but perhaps that signifies naught but my own capacity for bitterness. I do understand what it is to have a beacon to follow in dark times, a person you trust to guide you true, how it is to desperately wish their light would fall upon you again. But we have spent enough time assuming the intentions of the departed. There are the living to consider. We must find the other waters and round up the remaining creations forthwith. Of that, at least, we can be certain. I believe I can help in that manner. The influence of Hesperus' magic is fading throughout Asphodelos. Now is the perfect opportunity to seize control of the facilities and restore things to their original state. Seize control? Can you really do that? What? What is this present? Erxonius, what lies beyond that threshold? That's the passage which connects Asphodelos to Abyssos. Why? Be on your guard, you two. Now that Asphodelos is free of obstructions, I can more easily sense disturbances in the lower levels. Something stirs in Abyssos. Of course it does. A warding sigil? How? Let us return to the gates for now. I should like to apprise the situation from there. Needless to say, our investigation is far from over. Just when I had thought our work to be done, did this tragedy unfold all throughout Pandaemonium? Perhaps. Although we have defeated Hesperos, it appears we have but scratched the surface of Pandaemonium's troubles. My head is still swimming with questions, but could this mean that Hesperos wasn't actually behind this? It is a stark possibility, yes. The root of this crisis may lie somewhere much deeper even than Abyssos. When we first encountered you, you said the memories of your escape were vague and that your senses were muddled. I believe this was more than the result of a panicked mind. You were made to feel this way by a powerful magical influence. It is possible that the same magic could have poisoned Hesperos' heart, twisting his affection for La Habrea into a burning obsession. Then, in his altered state, he was made an offer of power he could not refuse. Wait, are you suggesting that someone else turned Hesperos into that thing? If so, it stands to reason they wouldn't stop at him. Indeed, our mystery mastermind does not lack for subjects for his experiments. For more potential hemithoi. If what you're saying is true, then my colleagues, they are doomed to share the same fate as Hesperos. Do not lose heart yet, Ericthonius. Hesperos challenged us alone, and that tells me that the process of his creation was a long and taxing one. If he was the first Hemithios, then the rest of the warders are likely still alive. However, much as I would like to hasten deeper into Pandaemonium, the way forward is sealed off. We must focus our efforts on finding a way through. With the creations still having free reign of Asphodelos, that won't be easy. On the contrary, I yet retain control of these circles, and thus can wield internment magics within their halls at will. The creatures will pose no threat to us. Just like that? Then nothing's stopping us from returning order to Asphodelos. Just so, I shall require your expertise to keep the peace after the subjects have been returned to their confinement. However, you are Asphodelos' sole remaining warder after all. Truth be told, I did not expect this investigation to become so involved. Of course, I would like to resolve matters here without resorting to outside help, but... Do you mean to send a report to La Habrea? 'Tis too soon to say. Let us first find a way into Abyssos. It would be best to withhold our judgment until we have ascertained the whereabouts of the other warders and the identity of the party responsible for their disappearance. Agreed. Even so, it means saving even a single life within Pandaemonium. Then I'm not above asking La Habrea for help, should it come to that. Recent discoveries certainly paint Hesperos' actions in a new light. The number of unknown elements in this investigation grows, and we must proceed forward with the utmost caution. To that end, Ericthonius and I shall remain here for the time being. Much as I enjoy your company, I do not believe we shall be needing protection so long as we remain in Asphodelos. You should take this time to rest. Surely you are weary, and there may be more battles ahead of us. Themis's burden may grow heavier in your absence, but he's shown that he's more than capable to bear it. Still, I would help wheresoever I am able. All we've achieved so far has been thanks to you two. I mean to repay the debt I owe you. I don't know what use I can be outside of placating creatures, but I'll find a way. Nonsense. You owe us nothing. It was thanks to your knowledge of the magics which govern this place that we were able to come this far. Elsewise, we would have likely succumbed to the hippocampus's assault. Each of us has arrived at this dire pass by separate paths, but it is only by combining our respective expertise that we will reach the end of it and see Pandaemonium saved. Yeah, you cut yourself short of too much credit. Yeah. Thank you, Themis. Hesperus' words seem to have affected me more than I realized. Together we've come this far, and together we will reach the end. I have no doubt we will. Even so, let us allow Myrokos his rest. Besides, you have someone awaiting your report in progress, yes? I dare say your story will be much more than they ever imagined. So you don't serve the convocation. I suppose I needn't worry about you going behind our backs to curry favor with Ahabrea. My friend would be very curious to hear what has occurred here. However, I fear that if I left Pandaemonium, the wards protecting it would quickly deteriorate. I hope that he does not mind assuming some of my duties in the meantime. Professor Claudian has tasked me with recording the ethereal signatures of each and every crystal in his recent orders. As a lowly assistant, I am honored to be given such an enormous and monumental assignment. At the professor's behest, we have kept records on recent events as vague as we can manage, even if we wish to do otherwise. Not much of note has transpired here as of late. Welcome, Myrokos. Back from the past, none the worse for wear, I see. So what did you find? So there is evil afoot in Pandaemonium, an already ominous place, I must say. Mythic beasts, and missing warders. Truly, we are fortunate to see you return to us in one piece. It appears the voice Myrokos heard from the crystal spoke the truth. As for who left it behind and why, those are yet questions to be answered. Indeed, it could be someone who lived among the ancients, or it could be someone trying to avert a tragedy from the future. Much remains shrouded in mystery. Yet, ilm by ilm, we shall unveil that mystery with the help of Myrokos, of course. By his actions was the fabric of the past reshaped, yet he returns to the same present he left. which can only mean one thing, that his intervention in Pandaemonium's crisis is but one of the countless building blocks of history upon which our present has been built. Interesting. There is no telling what consequences would arise if we stopped pursuing this matter now. Whatever plot is unraveling within Pandaemonium, we must not let it reach its conclusion. If one of those creatures should escape, what ripples would carry forth to the future? They might wreak havoc upon the world of the ancients, and their despair would leave an indelible mark upon history's pages. That despair would only feed the terrible beast that arose during the final days. The first final days already had a drastic effect on the eons that followed. If the scars it left were made even deeper, then we risk losing our present entirely. Whatever the cost, our connection with the future of Elpis must be preserved. I know I have asked much of you already, but can I count on you to continue your work in Pandaemonium? Your tireless efforts are much appreciated. If there is aught we can do to ease your burden, you need only say the word. Speaking of which, might you return the crystal into our keeping? While we cannot accompany you to the past, perhaps something can be gained by researching it further. It shines just as resplendently as the day we met. We shall begin work right away, but I cannot promise any meaningful results for some time, as matters in Elpis seem to be in a similar state, I must ask that you rest. But before that, allow me to make an introduction. As our research moves into its critical stage, I found it only suitable to recruit another assistant. Mylene is... Mylene, however you pronounce that, is an expert in armaments from throughout history, either from the far-flung past or made in the most modern forges. Should you find aught of interest in your adventures, bring it here, and she will be glad to offer her services. We know researchers in numerous fields that would love to get their hands on artifacts from bygone eras and would give you goods in return that should aid you in the trials ahead. Furthermore, if you ever wish to peruse the records of recent events you have reported here, Nimjiji has been taking faithful and thorough notes. She is at your complete disposal. I sense that we have embarked upon something monumental, something that will dwarf all else I have accomplished in my many years of research. I can think of no greater honor nor reassurance than to have your capable assistance in this endeavor. If there is anything to be found that will contribute to your success, we shall find it. We shall not rest until we have unlocked the mysteries of this crystal, and you will be the first to know when we do. And that's nice. Full speed. Okay, and with that, I think I will call this segment of the Let's Play to a close. If you liked what you saw at any point, please like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Give me a follow on Twitch. Hit the notification bells, and I will see you anon, friends.